Hello, for this assignment I chose project number 4, and for the recommendations based on theoretical concepts portion, I will be focusing on chapter 9, specifically on grouping, untracking, and the use of technology. To begin, I will give you a brief cultural profile of the student. He is a Hispanic 5-year-old male. He is bilingual. He lives in a small town in South Arkansas, less than approximately 230 people. His socioeconomic status is lower class. His religion is Christian. He lives at home with his mother, 2 brothers, ages 11 and 9, and he has 2 sisters. One is age 13 years, and then the other is 18 months. His father lives in Mexico and only comes home during the summer months, as far as we at the school know. He is non-disabled. Due to growing up in a Hispanic household, he does have language delays. His mother speaks very little English. It's just very broken. We have a hard time communicating with her. His brothers and sisters are all bilingual. At times he will struggle to find the correct word and will at times speak certain words in Spanish. He's behind his peers due to his bilingual upbringing, but he is not qualified for speech at this time. His brother's an older sister, and they've all attended the same school since they were in kindergarten. They are all on track with their language development. So after talking with the speech therapist there at the school, she feels certain that he will catch up with his peers as his siblings have. So, it just takes him a little bit longer coming from a bilingual background. He's very motivated to learn at school, and 2 of his older siblings are very helpful with this, with communicating with the teacher and myself as far as what he needs to work on at home. They have even come to us and asked that we send extra worksheets and things home, like flashcards, so that they can work with him. He seems to have a very close relationship with his siblings, and they are very supportive. So moving on, I will describe the issue that we have with this student. As previously stated, he's behind his peers as far as language, but also with letter recognition and letter sounds. He seems to be on track with math concepts, but he does struggle with writing his numbers, the formation of the numbers. So those are the main issues that we have with the student academically. As far as specific recommendations for providing support for his learning issues, we've grouped him at a table with those students that are closest to his level as far as letter recognition, sounds, all of the phonics concepts, and then as well as numbers and math. When we do centers, however, we rotate this student into a group of students with mixed ability. All of our centers are done with more mixed ability. So this way there's a level of peer tutoring within the group, and that seems to really work well. So as previously mentioned, the student is highly motivated to learn, and he looks a great deal to his peers for help and acceptance, both academically and socially. So now moving on to recommendations based on theoretical concepts. For this portion, like I said, I'm focusing on chapter 9. Specifically on grouping, untracking, and peer tutoring, and then as well as the use of technology. So for this student, grouping him with other students of the same level of letter recognition, phonics, and math skills has worked well for him. Grouping him at a table, I feel like that at his table when he's doing his work and assignments, he isn't afraid to ask for help because the others around him are struggling as well. He enjoys asking for help from me or from the teacher, and then he uses what we have told him to help the other 2 students at his table. They're much more reserved than he is, so this works out well as it kind of gives him a little bit of a confidence boost, being the one helping others. We also use untracking with this student. During centers, we move him and the other students around into groups of children with mixed ability. So this helps out a great deal because he's able to watch the students who are above him academically, and then he can mimic them and complete the tasks most of the time without my assistance or the teachers. So this also brings into play the peer tutoring. When they break out into centers, they're in groups of 3, and there's always one student in the group that we think of as the group tutor. They're above the other students academically, and they have leadership type personalities, so they guide and assist the others in their group. The girl that works with this particular student gets along very well with him, and he really enjoys working with her. He looks up to her quite a bit and knows that she will help him out whenever he needs it. So in addition to the previously mentioned theoretical concepts we use with this student, we also use a great deal of technology. So in the classroom during centers, the students use Chromebooks, and the programs that they use allow them to work at their level of comprehension when it comes to phonics and math, and then depending on what we're working on at that time. So this is very good, not just for the student, this particular student, but for all of them. They work individually, and then the program guides them and challenges them at their specific level. So as they progress and learn new information, the games or content get slightly more challenging. So this is great for him because he's very concerned about peer acceptance. He really looks at what the other kids are doing and what they think about what he's doing. So this is a way for him to work on his own without his peers knowing specifically where he is. They can't look at his computer screen and think, well, he's on a level behind me, or I'm 2 levels ahead of him. So they don't know what he's struggling with or where he's at on these games. So the Promethean board or whiteboard is a tool that we have in the classroom that we use quite a bit daily. Certain days during centers, they work with me at that particular center, and then we use the Promethean board to practice writing letters and or numbers. I have it set up so when the group of 3 students comes to me that they will go in order from the highest ability to the lowest ability, and I just call their name so they kind of know their order. And this is really good for him because he can see in that group with the mixed ability how the other students that go before him, how they write their letters. We talking about sticks and curves and things like that and the formation of it. So he's able to see that on the Promethean board while he's sitting on the carpet. He has 2 other students to watch how they do it. And then when it's his turn, he knows exactly what to do. He doesn't have any fine motor skill issues or anything like that. So making the letters is not an issue for him. He just has a harder time remembering what letters, what they look like. So in conclusion, I feel that this student greatly benefits from grouping within his ability range at his table. As I mentioned, I think it helps with his confidence as well as his academics. Untracking is also great for him so that he can work alongside students that are above him academically, and he has that peer tutor in his group to guide and assist him. And lastly, technology. Obviously, the use of Chromebooks and the Promethean board benefit him quite a bit. This student doesn't have access to a computer or an iPad at home like many other students do. So not only is it helping him make great strides in school and academically, but just to have the hands-on experience with computers. We do have some limited iPad use, so with apps and things like that, I think that it also helps him socially because he feels like he isn't quite so separated from his peers because they all, it was first day of school, they knew how to get on and how to type and how to do those things, and he felt a little unsure. So that's been a confidence boost for him socially as well. So that concludes my video. Thank you.